So let me ask you something right away. What if the next SUV you buy isn't just a little better than the current one, but feels like Subaru finally listened to everything drivers have been asking for over the last decade? What if the Outback you thought you knew is about to change in ways that make you stop, rethink, and maybe even delay your next purchase just to see what's coming? Because the 2026 Subaru Outback is shaping up to be exactly that kind of vehicle. At first glance, it doesn't scream for attention, and that's intentional. Subaru has never chased flash. Instead, they focus on function, reliability, and real-world usability. But this time, something feels different. Bigger, Boxier, smarter. Not just in marketing words, but in how the vehicle is expected to behave, feel, and live with every single day. And before we get deep into it, do me a quick favor. If you enjoy calm, detailed breakdowns that actually help you understand what's coming next instead of just hyping numbers, hit the like button. And if you want more content like this, subscribe so you don't miss what's coming. It genuinely helps the channel grow. Now, let's talk about why this Outback matters. The Outback has always lived in a strange but powerful space. It's not a traditional SUV, and it's not a wagon anymore either. It became its own thing. A vehicle for people who don't want to choose between comfort and capability, between city life and weekend escapes, between safety and adventure. But over the years, competitors caught up. SUVs got smarter. Crossovers got tougher. And Subaru had to make a decision. Play it safe or evolve. The 2026 Outback feels like the answer to that question. One of the most noticeable changes expected is the overall shape. The Outback is becoming more upright, more squared off, and more confident in its stance. This isn't just about looks. A Boxier design improves interior space, visibility, and utility. It also sends a clear message. This is no longer trying to blend in. Drivers have been asking for better sight lines, more headroom, and a stronger road presence. A taller roofline and straighter edges deliver exactly that. It makes the vehicle feel more substantial without turning it into a bulky truck. Inside, this change translates into something even more important. Space that actually feels usable. Rear passengers benefit from more legroom. Cargo areas feel less cramped and more versatile. And for people who live out of their vehicles, campers, hikers, photographers, that matters more than any spec sheet. But Subaru didn't stop at shape. The smarter part of the 2026 Outback is where things really get interesting. Technology in cars has changed dramatically in just a few years. What once felt futuristic is now expected. Subaru understands this, and the next Outback reflects that shift. Expect a more refined digital experience, but not one that overwhelms. Subaru tends to avoid flashy distractions. Instead, the focus is on clarity, faster response times, cleaner menus, controls that feel intuitive instead of buried. Drivers don't want to fight with their car. They want it to work. That philosophy carries over into safety as well. Subaru's reputation for safety isn't accidental. It's been earned over decades. And in 2026, safety systems are expected to become even more proactive, not louder, not more annoying, smarter. The idea is to assist, not interrupt, to support the driver without creating fatigue. That balance is harder than it sounds, and Subaru has been refining it quietly while others chase attention-grabbing features. Now, let's talk about something that really matters in daily driving: how the vehicle feels on the road. The Outback has always been known for stability. Symmetrical all-wheel drive isn't a gimmick. It provides predictable handling in bad weather, uneven terrain, and long highway drives. In 2026, that system is expected to be even more refined, paired with improved suspension tuning that smooths out rough roads without feeling soft or disconnected. This matters because most people don't live on perfect pavement. Roads crack, weather changes, trips get long. Comfort over time is what separates a good vehicle from one you actually enjoy owning. Another major area of improvement is efficiency. Subaru has been moving carefully towards smarter powertrains. Not rushed, not forced, but deliberate. The 2026 Outback is expected to continue that approach, balancing performance with fuel efficiency in a way that feels natural instead of compromised. For drivers, this means fewer trade-offs. You don't have to choose between power and practicality. You get both, in reasonable proportions, designed for real-world use. And then there's durability. Outbacks are known for lasting. People keep them for years, sometimes decades. Subaru owners often become repeat buyers not because the cars are exciting, but because they're dependable. The 2026 model is expected to reinforce that reputation with materials that feel solid, interiors that age well, and engineering choices that prioritize longevity. That kind of thinking doesn't show up in commercials, but it shows up in ownership. One of the subtle but powerful shifts with the 2026 Outback is confidence. It no longer feels like a vehicle trying to justify its place in the lineup. It knows exactly what it is. And that confidence shows in design choices that are bolder without being aggressive. This Outback isn't chasing trends. It's refining identity. And that's why so many people are quietly waiting for it. Because when a vehicle evolves thoughtfully instead of dramatically, it often ends up being the one people trust the most. The Outback doesn't need to shout. It just needs to deliver. And based on everything shaping up around the 2026 model, it looks like Subaru is preparing to do exactly that. This isn't just an update. It's a recalibration, a signal that Subaru understands how drivers' lives have changed and how their vehicles need to change with them. And when you really start to sit with that idea, you realize why so many people are quietly paying attention to what Subaru is doing here. The Outback has never been about chasing the loudest trend or copying whatever is selling the fastest in the moment. It's always been about building a vehicle that fits into people's lives without demanding constant attention. And for 2026, that philosophy is being sharpened, not abandoned. One of the biggest shifts expected with the new Outback is how intentional everything feels. Nothing seems accidental. From the way the body lines are expected to be more squared and purposeful, to how the interior layout is rumored to be more driver-focused, Subaru appears to be leaning into maturity. This is a vehicle designed for people who know what they want, not people still figuring it out. The Boxier proportions aren't just a design choice. They're a practical one. Straighter edges allow for better packaging. That means cargo space that's easier to use, roof lines that accommodate real gear, and doors that open in ways that make loading and unloading less a chore. If you've ever packed for a long road trip, you understand how much these small details matter. And then there's visibility. Taller windows and a more upright profile improve sight lines dramatically. That makes daily driving less stressful, especially in traffic-heavy environments or unfamiliar terrain. Subaru has always prioritized driver confidence, and this design direction reinforces that commitment. Inside the cabin, the focus seems to be on reducing friction. Modern vehicles often overwhelm drivers.